Family. If you have a family, you should feel loved and cared for, because in a family, no one should feel left behind. But I did. Before the birth of my little sister Melor, I received all the love and care from my parents. I was a happy child. When she was born, I was so excited to have a sibling and a partner to play with. However, when my sister was 2, she was diagnosed with a heart defect, a hole in her heart. Ever since she was diagnosed, my mother practically lived in the hospital to take care of her. Hence, I only had my father to depend on, since he was always at home. But things changed when he died due to a car accident. Now, I am always alone, void of love and care from my sole parent, my mother. Years have passed. I am now a university student. My little sister, she is still sick, and my mother spends most of the time taking care of her. I was left alone to take care of myself. To support myself financially, I had to work as a part-timer at the night market while being a student. Every day, I struggle between my job and my study, as well as the loneliness I felt from being cast aside by my mother. When I am at home, I feel lonely. Going back to an empty house is the norm for me. Receiving love and care from my family is a privilege that I never get to experience anymore. Going home to doing all the chores, cooking my own meals, and being treated as a stranger in my own home is something I am used to. I was cooking dinner when my mother came back home. Hello, mother. How are you? How was Melor?
She's okay, same old, same old. Murni, I have to work overtime tomorrow, so I can't go to the hospital. Can you go instead? Just bring her the food that I have cooked for her. I'm gonna go rest.
Okay, mother. Not a single. How are you? Are you doing fine? Have you eaten? But I guess I should be used to this. While walking down the familiar hospital hallway, I feel resentment towards my family. It was unfair that I had to take care of Melor when mother had to work, and yet I found myself walking into Melor's ward, looking at her sleeping in the bed, apart from all the machinery and wires stuck in multiple parts of her body. She looks peaceful and loved. Why? Why? If only you didn't exist, Melor. You were born sickly, living to die at a moment's notice, and yet you're still the one mother fawns over with her every bit of love and attention. What makes you so much better than me? What makes you more fit for mother's love? I'm her daughter too. The dark thoughts start filling my mind. The resentment I felt before swells up inside of me. I wanted her to die.
Murni?
I was snapped out of my dark thoughts when I heard a voice calling my name.
You came to visit me. I missed you. You rarely come by. Were you busy?
Yeah, I was. How are you feeling? I shouldn't be mad at you. It's not your fault. You need all the love you can get to recover, Melor. Hurry up and get better so we can equally share our mother's love. I was studying at home when I received a call from my colleague asking me to cover her shift, so I went to work that night. Everything was normal, but my shift ended pretty late, as there were a lot of customers. As I was walking home, the streets were empty and quiet. Suddenly, a drunk man appeared out of nowhere and hit me in the head with a glass bottle. I was in shock and couldn't do anything to defend myself. I was scared. Then, a passerby saw us and quickly restrained the drunk man. Out of fear, I bolted out of there, away from my attacker. After running away, I visited the hospital to check myself, but I thought of visiting my sister first. Melor was excited to see me after some time. The excitement Melor had in her eyes was precious.
Murni, you are here.
Yes, how are you? Do you feel better? We then talked about everything and nothing. While we were talking, my mother visited the hospital and we sat down and talked together. Melor was so happy. Everyone was together. It was nice being together like this. While talking with my family, I can feel nature calling, so I had to step out. For some reason, this headache I had was becoming less like an annoying pulse and more like a raging monster. It hurt so bad to the point I couldn't keep my eyes open, and before I knew it,
with a loud thud, Murni fell on the cold, hard hospital floor. The doctor nearby immediately came to her aid, but Murni was already unconscious. This time, it was her turn to be the one in the hospital bed. It was Murni's turn to have all the attention from her mother as the woman squeezed her cold hands in her own with tears streaming down her face, panic consuming her while she waited for the doctor to tell her what happened to her daughter. The doctor told Murni's mother the cause of her death was believed to be due to blunt force trauma to the head, causing internal bleeding in her brain that ultimately ended her life. She was declared brain dead soon after, followed by tears from her dear mother.
Our records show that Murni registered herself to be an organ donor when she was still alive, and her sister is in need of a new heart. We could probably make it work since they're siblings and Melor's body is less likely to reject their new organ.
Hearing that, the mother fell to the ground. Tears started streaming down her face, guilt and sorrow engulfing her. Her daughter, her precious daughter, whom she had neglected, left to take care of herself, never got a chance to feel her mother's love because she was so fixated on taking care of her youngest. But now, it's Murni who is going to save Melor at the cost of her life. Disbelief, the mother denied the suggestion. She looks at Murni's lifeless body with only a life support machine keeping her heart beating. She tells her,
I will not take anything away from you again.
Murni's room suddenly felt cold as her mother entered it upon returning from the hospital. Just yesterday, Murni was sleeping on the same bed she was sitting on. Hours earlier, she was just happily chatting with her younger sister at the hospital. Taking in her newly deceased daughter's room felt surreal to her while she looked around. The woman then realized she had never really known her daughter all that well. There were trinkets in the room that wasn't familiar to her, a hint that she hasn't been paying much attention to her daughter in the first place. One thing that stuck out though was a letter addressed to her younger daughter. In the letter, Murni had expressed her love and care towards Melor. She stated that she would do anything to help save her. Seeing that Murni had the potential to donate her heart to her sister, it was selfish for her, as a mother, to deny Murni's last wish. It has been 5 years since Murni left Melor and Mom. Things eventually changed considerably. Mom tries to grasp the fact that Murni is no more and learns to live in her absence. Melor believes that her elder sister is walking beside her in every step of the way as her guardian angel. Murni has withered and bloomed as the most beautiful flower.